Okay guys, I'm 100 days into taking NMN. On day 70, something strange happened and it's not gone away. So let's talk about this, and I'm gonna give you all the details about my first 100 days taking NMN. Welcome to the show. My name is Jesse and I'm a human health and performance specialist. This channel is dedicated to living a long, healthy life using biohacks, supplements, and of course, the breath. Today, I'm going to be talking about my first 100 days taking NMN. If you've not already seen my first NMN review, go ahead and take a look here. And actually, there's going to be a bunch of things popping up here all throughout this video. Interviews with Dr. Elena Saranova, who has been a great guide and a friend in this journey that I've been taking with NMN. So I started NMN about 100 days ago. I started with 500 milligrams per day and I started taking that every morning. I worked my way up to 1,000 milligrams, and I've been taking 1,000 milligrams every morning before breakfast on an empty stomach, and I've been doing that consistently for the past 100 days. I also take a lot of other supplements that I have continued to take during that time, but the NMN has been a big change, and that's the only thing I've changed in the past 100 days. So whenever I started taking NMN, I immediately noticed a change in that I felt more energy, and that was awesome, but it wasn't the reason why I'm taking NMN. I'm taking NMN to live a long, healthy life. But what happened after, a dozen days went by is that burst of energy, I didn't really notice it so much anymore. Now, of course, I do a lot of things to increase my energy levels, and I'm not what you might call a low energy person in the first place. So it's not like I really was worried about, okay, I don't feel that huge boost of energy anymore. For most people, they have a first wave of energy, and then it starts to feel normal to have that much energy as you continue to take it. So that feels, okay, I got you, I'm with you, great. So what happened though is that by day like 50-ish, somewhere between day 50 and day 70, I noticed that I had what we call the second wave. So I actually experienced another boost of energy, and that was actually quite noticeable. It was kind of interesting how it hit me, because I didn't do anything different that day, but I felt a lot more energy, especially later on in the day. And if someday I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about my daily schedule, how crazy it is, but I am basically going 100% from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. Very, very physically active. So it was really a noticeable thing whenever 7, 8 o'clock at night, I wasn't insanely exhausted and I was still going strong. So after that, it normalized, and that's become the new normal. And on day 70, I started to notice an interesting change in my blood pressure. Now, I've talked to Dr. Saranova about this, and she says, hey, some people report different things, but there's not really any clear evidence that this would be, something that anybody could guarantee. So I don't want to make this seem like, hey, if you take NMN, you're going to have this result. But this is what happened to me. I noticed that my blood pressure reduced by about 10 points. Okay, so I take my blood pressure every day. Okay, some people, they do a lot of things. I like to constantly be aware of where my body is. And especially, I'm very interested in my cardiovascular health. So I take my blood pressure on a regular basis, and in the mornings when I wake up, and right before I go to bed. Pretty regularly, I keep a journal. Occasionally I'll miss a day or two, but I keep a journal of how this works. And it was almost like an immediate thing on day 70 that I noticed my blood pressure reduced by 10 points, systolic and diastolic, both. And so I'm like, wow, this is actually really cool. It wasn't anything dangerous. I already had pretty decent blood pressure, but that's one thing I've always had to focus on, and through my diet, through exercise, is that I've never had what I would consider bragging rights blood pressure. It's always, I have had to work to keep it at the 120/80 or thereabouts. And whenever I get, into big stressful seasons in life and things like that, it really is a good thing that I practice breath work and cold training and nutrition and all these things, because I really need them to mitigate the stress that I feel in life. So when I noticed that, oh wow, it's gone down 10, at first I was like, okay, it could be anything, but I noticed that it stayed consistent, and it's consistent to this day. So it's been 30 days that I have had this lower blood pressure. And I really haven't changed anything greatly in my diet. I haven't done any incredible difference in my exercise. And it was almost overnight that I noticed this drop in my blood pressure. It stayed there and I feel amazing. So I'm not saying this is gonna happen to you, but this happened to me. And I don't know if it's NMN that did it or if it's something else, but that is after, you kind of go through it. What did I change? What's different? Nothing else in my diet or in my life or in my stress levels or exercise routines, nothing else has changed in any major way. So it leads me to believe it could be NMN. Now that is not to say it is. And of course, this is not medical advice or anything like that, but this is my own journey and I'm just kind of documenting it for you guys. 100 days in, my blood pressure is lower and I have far more energy, especially in the later times in the day. And this is not energy that interferes with sleep. I'm sleeping better, I'm awake better, I'm feeling better. So I've got to say that I would still take NMN even if I didn't have these benefits because of the science that points to a longer health span and a longer lifespan. But I am seeing the benefits, and I hope that this helps you in your decision whether or not to add NMN into your regimen.